They say that wicked creatures prowl the road along this beautiful riverbank, but nobody's ever seen one. I once asked a man why. He simply replied, "Because anybody who happens upon one is promptly eaten." But it is long since one has met such a fate. But nowadays, people take another route, far away from the spooky old road. Only we walk the old way now, travelers in crystal caravans.
This monologue is what you are greeted with upon entering River Bell Path, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles' first dungeon. Ever since I played the game as a kid, these small introductions have always stuck with me. They seem to be stories relayed by another caravaneer, someone who has walked the same road as you are now. It's a wonderful bit of storytelling, giving each area an ancient and storied feel to them. You're not the first person to explore these places, and you won't be the last. Crystal Chronicles has a very special place in my heart, not only for its incredibly beautiful soundtrack, utilizing ancient instruments composed by Kuni Tanioka, but also this quiet magic it exudes. Crystal Chronicles originally released on the GameCube in 2003. In the game, you journey along with 3 other friends, if each of you had a Game Boy Advance and link cable, to collect myrrh, a substance that refreshes the town's crystal to hold off the deadly miasma that covers the world for another year. The story unfolds non-linearly, with encounters with other travelers happening randomly as you cross the world map. The game will actually go on forever if you don't figure out how to reach the final dungeon, and many of the hints to get there are vague and in optional dialogue. Outside of a brief tutorial from Stiltskin, Final Fantasy's recurring Moogle character, you're left to adventure as you see fit, with all your encounters recorded in the titular Crystal Chronicle. I never had enough willing friends nor link cables to play with multiple people, so in my several playthroughs of the game I've stuck with the single-player mode. Both types of play have their advantages. Playing alone will have a Moogle companion tag along and carry the chalice, a cup of sorts that holds myrrh and keeps the miasma at bay, while playing in a group will let you more easily take out monsters and fuse magic, although one of you has to hold the chalice. I'll finally be able to try out the multiplayer mode, along with tons of other enhancements, in Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition, which adds online multiplayer, voice acting, improved graphics, new dungeons, and a host of other new features. If you're worried the soundtrack has been changed, fret not. Apart from a redone version of The Sound of the Wind and possibly the ending theme, the music is as perfect as ever. At the start of the game, you create your character by choosing one of the 4 races: the human-like Clavat, the diminutive Lilty, the magically inclined Yuke, and my personal go-to, the independent Selkie. You then choose your gender, from male or female, and your appearance, from the original's 4 as well as a new one for each race and gender for a total of 5. Here's where Crystal Chronicles starts to bring you into its world. You then choose what trade your family has taken up in the village, such as blacksmithing, farming, fishing, and a few more. After making these choices, you are treated to a short scene of your family seeing you off on your journey. That not only gives more context and weight to your journey, it also gives you a reason to come back and visit because, for example, if you chose to be born into a family of blacksmiths, you can come back and shop for or forge new weapons and armor with the vastly improved menus. While you can forge and shop in other towns, there's just something more special about wielding a sword and shield your mom or dad gave you. After setting out, the general flow of the adventure goes like this. Drive your caravan across the overworld, encounter characters with their own stories, enter a dungeon, beat the boss, get the myrrh, repeat until the chalice is full and it starts over again next year. It's a simple but effective gameplay loop that has you seeking out 3 new dungeons each year. The people you meet and towns you visit will slowly develop over the years, and if you ever forget what a specific person's about, you can relive your previous encounters with them now in the journal. After each dungeon, a post-Moogle will bring you letters from your family, which you can reply to, with your response and attached item affecting your relationship with them. You can also choose a relic you picked up in the dungeon to increase a single stat, with players taking turns depending on who accomplished their hidden objective the best. Due to COVID-19, local multiplayer is not available on consoles or the phone versions, but it's still relatively easy to play with friends, as a free light version of the game will be available for download so you can all play together through crossplay. There are a few things in the original version that I hope remain in the remaster. Mainly, the unique features playing with a Game Boy Advance offered. When playing multiplayer, the game would divvy up tasks and features between players. For example, one player would have access to the area's map on their Game Boy Advance screen, another would be able to see enemy HP and weaknesses, and so on. From a preview footage provided by Square Enix, it looks like each player will have a mini-map for navigations, but what about the other features? It could be that these perks are still divided among players, since each player will have their own screen in online multiplayer. But we'll just have to wait and see if these features return. If you couldn't tell from just how much I've written about this 17-year-old game, I'm very excited to play this new and improved version of a game I make a point of revisiting at least once a year. It's a truly beautiful game that went unappreciated by many, myself included, back when it was released. I hope these improvements can help many more people experience this cult classic when it releases.